What's up, everybody? This is Pull Your Pants Up, Bitch Radio. And let's get down to business today. Today I just Google searched on Phil Jackson because I wanted to hear Phil Jackson's take on the situation with how he was not hired by the Lakers. So I went to this website. I'll put it in the link if interested, but it says Phil Jackson releases statement, calls Lakers handling of the situation slimy. Wow, slimy. I didn't expect that, but hey. Anyway, Phil Jackson's phone rang around midnight Sunday night with shocking news. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. He wasn't. Phil, you're not going to be the next Lakers coach. It was a move that not only reportedly stunned Jackson, what? But surprised pretty much everyone following the story, including the person picked for the job, Mike D'Antoni, which is, by the way, still recovering from knee surgery. On Tuesday, as the dust settled a bit, Jackson released a statement about the situation. Saturday morning, Jim Buss called to ask if he could come and visit, and I did not solicit or ask for the opportunity, but I welcomed both he and Mitch Kupchak into my home to discuss the possibility of my return to the Lakers as the head coach. We talked for over an hour and a half. Jim Buss. Now, you didn't want anything to do with Phil Jackson, but all of a sudden, you're inside his home. No contractual terms were discussed, and we concluded with the handshake and an understanding that I would have until Monday to come back to them with my decision. I did convey to them that I did have the confidence that I could do the job. I could do the job. I'm back. I can do the job. I was awakened at midnight on Sunday by a phone call from Mitch Kupchak. He told me that the Lakers had signed Mike D'Antoni to a 3-year agreement and that they felt he was the best coach for the team. What? What? The decision is, of course, theirs to make, as long as D'Antoni don't quit on you. I am gratified by the groundswell of support from the Laker fans who endorsed my return, and it is the principal reason why I considered the possibility. Wow. Mike D'Antoni, man. Mike D'Antoni. Obviously, Jackson is trying to take the high road here, but he has to feel a bit jilted about this. Specifically mentioning the midnight phone call is a pretty clear tell. Actually, he had more to say about that via the LA Times. It could have been much more circumspect and respectful of everybody involved, Jackson said. It seemed slimy to be awoken with this kind of news. Why didn't the Lakers go with Jackson? Why did the completely stiff, this motherfucker can't write. It says, it should have been called they. Why did they completely stiff their former legendary coach? Multiple reports indicate that Jackson was looking for full control of the team, veto ability on roster decisions, and special travel arrangements. He told the LA Times there is no truth to him wanting front office. There's nothing about that, he said. There may have been something to it, but it doesn't sound like the Lakers and Jackson ever reached the point of actually negotiating a contract. So while the Lakers may have assumed that Jackson would want a massive contract and a bunch of control, it wasn't like they were bargaining. Here's what Jackson's agent Todd Musburger told ESPN, LA.com. There were no demands, outrageous or otherwise. to say that he wanted control, or that he wanted $1 zillion, or that he wanted equality. Those were not topics discussed. If the Lakers didn't spread those things, the fact they didn't take affirmative stance to correct the record is very troublesome. Who knows where the breakdown came from? Whether it was from the Lakers trying to make a powerhouse move and send a message to Jackson, whether it was something lost in translation, or whether feelings have just been hurt. The bottom line is that Mike D'Antoni got the job and Phil Jackson didn't. The situation may have been handled poorly for sure, but then again, the Lakers just fired their coach after 5 games. What did you expect? They're idiots. First of all, Jim Buss is a moron. You would think the reason he fired Mike Brown so quick in the first place was so that he can get Phil Jackson back. Why would you fire Mike Brown and hire D'Antoni? All because of old ass Steve Nash that probably will get injured? Come on, man. Give me a fucking break. Seems like they putting all their fucking eggs in Steve Nash. Like this is Steve Nash's team or some shit. That's the only reason he hired Mike D'Antoni, because he wants the D'Antoni's offense with Steve Nash running it. Well, goddamn, Steve Nash is an old dog. Can't depend on that. He may get injured again. And then what are you gonna do? D'Antoni is known to quit on his team. D'Antoni didn't like Carmelo, and Carmelo and Kobe are a lot alike. Their styles of play are somewhat similar. They like to have the ball in their hands. So D'Antoni gonna find himself in the same position he was in New York, miserable. You know, so these are old boys. This just goes to show you that Jim Buss don't know what the fuck he doing. Phil Jackson, I see why Phil Jackson wanted office veto power. Hell, he gonna need it fucking around with Jim Buss. Oh my God. The man is not a smart businessman. I don't know why Jerry Buss just won't take his fucking ownership back, man. You're leaving it to your idiot son. Your son's a moron, man. How the fuck you gonna talk to Phil Jackson and D'Antoni and decide to go with D'Antoni? Wow. Idiot. This has got to be the idiot decision of the month right here, man. I'm gonna tell you something. And this way gonna happen. When they start failing and losing with D'Antoni, they're gonna fire him too, and then decide to hire Phil Jackson. And Phil Jackson gonna make him pay. Watch. D'Antoni won't last. He ain't gonna last with his team. Mark my words.